Hi, I'm Stephanie Merg, the editor of Unbeige, and this is part 3 of my 3-part interview with fashion designer Chris March. In this segment, I talk with Chris about his career development and his design aesthetic. This is Mediabeat.
Look, things change.
Anyone with a camera and a computer
now,
is a good
so we
idea.
should pay attention
What's
to
the
where
user
they all
value
do.
proposition?
We evolve.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your design aesthetic, your career. Where did it all begin? Did you go to design school?
No, I never went to school for any sort of design. When I was little, my mother used to take sewing lessons, and she used to make all her own evening gowns. So I used to go with her to her sewing lessons, and I used to watch. I was very little, and I used to watch her sew, and then I started helping her sew. And then she used to kind of like sew some stuff on my clothes, and she started messing it up, and I was just like, here, get out of the way, let me do it. And that was like in 4th grade. I was like 9 years old when I started to sew. And I've just always been fascinated by it. I don't know. It's just the construction fascinates me, putting things together. And also another funny thing was my mother was on Let's Make a Deal when I was little.
It's time for Let's Make a Deal!
And so I was always fascinated with Let's Make a Deal and all the people in their costumes. And the bigger and crazier ones always got more attention, so.
Very interesting.
Gee, I wonder, where that comes from. So, I always did love making big wigs and things like that, and then I kind of transitioned into really big headpieces, and then I started making costumes to go with them, and then I just kind of started like a theater costume career, and then from there I started branching out into fashion and advertising, because a lot of different corporations started hiring me to make things for their advertising, and then I started getting kind of more into fashion, and then I moved to New York, and
the rest is history. And you've built your career on couture designs. Are you interested in getting into ready-to-wear, mass market, or does that really not hold an interest for you?
Certainly the money of ready-to-wear holds interest, but, I think if I'm going to do that, it has to be the right thing, and it's going to have to, I think, address something that isn't being addressed in the fashion world. I don't know. I always kind of use the analogy of architecture, like, nobody becomes an architect to build tract homes. They want to be I.M. Pei, or they want to, design really wild, interesting, new, never seen before buildings. So that's kind of the garment industry end of it. And, if people didn't do that, we wouldn't have clothes. But I think that I kind of tend to be more successful on the other end of things. So that's kind of where I've always ended up.
Great. Well, we're very happy that you're there. And thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.